Hello and welcome to episode 32 of the Roma Revolution. I'm Ben, and coming up on today's episode we begin our defence of the Champions League with our opening group game against Shakhtar Donetsk, and that is followed by a Serie A game against Sampdoria. Now, if you are new to the channel or not yet subscribed, then do please hit that subscribe button down below. We are currently 15 away from our 100 target by the beginning of August. As always, your support is always very much appreciated, but it would be awesome if we could get to that target. But since the last episode, Roma are absolutely flying in Serie A. Some of you may have even noticed it on the home screen there, but since our 1-1 draw and loss on penalties in the Super Cup final to Milan, we have won all 4 of our games. We are 7 from 7 in Serie A. We've beaten Cittadella, Sassuolo, Perugia and Atalanta since you were last with me, only conceding 1 goal and putting at least 10, I believe it is, on our opponent. So we're looking really good in the league, and we have already got a 4-point buffer over second place AC Milan. Fingers crossed we can transfer that form into the Champions League and give it a really good go of defending that title that we won last year. The team therefore for today's game against Shakhtar Donetsk is this one. A few injuries, so it is a bit of a mix and match, but we've got Farnese in goal, a back forward Donati, Basia, who is a new signing, Mancini and Sergio Ramos. Camavinga plays at the base of midfield in behind Riccardi, Tonali and Pellegrini, with Thiago Almada in behind Caio Jorge, who has started to find his scoring boots here at Roma. Obviously, I did mention Basia here at the centre of defence. Thomas Basia, he came to us from Nantes for 13.5 million. He has started incredibly well for us. He is the only new signing to report. No one else has left the club, but he is looking like he could be a potential star for us going forward. Really well-rounded central defender. He's also able to play at right back if we've got a bit of a crisis. So he is looking good. As I mentioned, a couple of injuries. Florenzi, who has been playing at right back, he's injured. Paredes is also suspended for today. So there is just a few people who potentially haven't had the game time playing in this one. But without further ado, let's get stuck into it. Obviously, this year we are going to have a bit of a target on our back, being the champions of Europe. So teams are going to want to come and beat us. The group is us, Shakhtar Donetsk, PSV, who obviously we played last year in the round of 16, and the biggest one is FC Bayern. Obviously we were first seeded, they were second, so that will be the tough fixture of the group. But if we can get through and top the group again, then hopefully we'll have a chance of going deep into the competition and even defending our crown. But at the moment, it's all about getting through the group. And as always, we're going to have faith in the boys. The assistant is off to the tunnel. And here we go. A slightly amended team. Ramos playing at right back, potentially not where he'd usually want to play. Tonali in for a rare appearance so far this season. But can we beat them? And there is an early highlight here. And it's starting from deep with Jordi Alba on the left here for Shakhtar. El Neni in the middle. Vallejo, a pretty good rounded team actually with some stars in here. Martinez. Vallejo again on the right hand side, but Riccardi's nipped in and beaten him to it, and he surges towards the area and Riccardi hits the post. He did have Caio Jorge in the middle, potentially a bit man marked, but Riccardi surges into the area like he has done for us so far this season, but he just shoots wide. But a positive start we're making, as has been the case in most of our games. We're not looking to dominate the possession, but what we're looking to do is really be direct when we use it. We're going to ask for a bit of creativity. 25 minutes have gone. We haven't seen masses of us, but at the same token, we haven't seen anything of them. And here we are with Sergio Ramos on the right with a throw. And it's to Almada, who finds Pellegrini behind him. Ramos with the ball in. Donati at the back post, who has a second bite, but it's fallen to Caio Jorge. And he puts his first Champions League goal for Roma into the back of the net. His 6th goal of the season. He made a slow start, but in the last few games he's really found his scoring boots. Donati with one effort, then a second, and Caio Jorge is there to just poach home. And it is now Roma 1, Shakhtar Donetsk 0, and we're making a really positive start to this Champions League campaign. 8 shots already in the first half an hour, only 3 on target, but we are looking good. And at the moment, dare I say, we're looking like a team that is happy to dominate other boys and hopefully we can do the Serie A title to go alongside a really positive defence of the Champions League. Half time then, only 1-0. It could have far been more by looking at the stats, but 1-0 we shall take. We'll ask to guard against complacency. The job is by no means done. There is always a lot more to come from the boys, and we'll start the second half and see if we can push on from this 1-goal lead. Tonali has struggled when he's played this year in the middle, and it looks like he's struggling again, but we have got a free kick. Pellegrini whips it across. It looks like it was Basia at the back post who heads just over. We're looking good. Can we just keep it going and put an extra goal just to secure the victory? We're going to ask for some creativity, see if we can just go and push for that second to take the game beyond Shakhtar. They've only had 2 shots in total, but all it will take is one more that hits the target, and it could well be level in the game. We're going to just make a couple of changes after this highlight. I think we'll do them. Basia with the throw to Donati. Back to Basia at the base of defence. He's found Pellegrini in loads of room, and with Sergio Ramos outside him, Caio Jorge sat there waiting in the middle. Ramos finds him. Jorge finds the back of the net, and it is now Roma 2, Shakhtar Donetsk 0, and we've come to the Olimpico on a nice Champions League evening, and we have made the most of the chances we've had. Jorge in a great position again, beats his man at the front post. Keeper has no chance, and that should well secure the victory. Now we are going to make a couple of changes. Tonali struggling still in the midfield, so Diawara can come on instead of him. Almada also struggling in behind the striker, so we'll give Nicolo Zaniolo a chance. He's played a good few games this year, but he can just come on and hopefully see this out for the last 20 minutes or so. We've been really good. The chances we've created have been excellent, and hopefully there's another one here as Mancini is beaten to it, and a chance potentially for Shakhtar to break. Zaniolo does really well to win the ball back high up the pitch though, and we got Diawara who finds Donati on the left, surges into the area, men inside him, Riccardi one of them, shoots and it's well blocked. Zaniolo another, he's just come on and he scored. He likes a Champions League goal, does Nicolo Zaniolo, and he's just bagged himself another one. Donati with the initial pass into Riccardi, his efforts well blocked. Donati then finds Zaniolo, and that is rifled into the top corner, and it is now Roma 3, Shakhtar 0, and what has been a really well-rounded performance. 21 shots, 10 of which have been on target. And is this another chance? Basia. Diawara, I think, actually in the end beat Basia to it. It's just wide. And we are looking really solid. And hopefully the form can transfer between both competitions continuing forward. We're just going to make a final change. Pellegrini's played a lot of games for us and has also just returned back from injury, so he'll come off. Cristante can come on for him, and you all know what's happening when Cristante comes on. Him and Riccardi switch over, and with 12 minutes or so plus extra time to go, hopefully we can just see this through without conceding and maybe even grabbing another on top of our 3 so far. They've got it out the back. They play it out well to Jordi Alba on the left-hand side, who finds Macon in the middle. But Zaniolo again pressing high up the pitch, wins the ball back, and it's straight at Stefan. Maybe the better option there was to give the ball to Jorge for his hat-trick, but Zaniolo has looked really bright since he's come on and is perhaps staking his claim to start in that attacking midfield role. Almada, though, has started the season really well. He has just dipped a bit the past couple of games, though, as it comes to the final minute. One final chance. Riccardi finds Jorge, and there's his hat-trick. Caio Jorge at the second time of asking. Initial header saved well by Stefan, but it only falls as far as Jorge again. And it's now Roma 4, Shakhtar 0. A great ball in from Riccardi. Jorge looking really sharp up front. His first hat-trick for Roma. And what a time to get it in your first Champions League start. 20-year-old Caio Jorge the hero. It's Roma 4, Shakhtar Donetsk 0. And hopefully we can transfer this form into our game against Sampdoria, which I'll see you for in a second. Couple of changes then to be made for the Sampdoria game. Paredes is back after his European suspension. Tonali therefore drops to the bench, and after his really solid performance as a substitute in that Champions League game, Nicolo Zaniolo comes back in at attacking midfielder, and obviously Thiago Almada drops out for him. Looking good though, fingers crossed that we can get past Sampdoria. They're down in 14th in the league. AC Milan, obviously the team just below us, have already played and won 4-0. So if we are to keep that 4-point buffer that we had at the top of the league, we will need to beat Sampdoria. And if we do, that will be 8 wins from 8 Serie A games at the start of the season, and that will be a really good beginning if we can get there. Gareth Bale on the right for them, I just noticed, so we're going to have to keep a close eye on him. It may well be a busy afternoon for Manuel Donati on that side, but hopefully the youngster can handle it. Right, the assistant's gone off to the tunnel. Here we go then, as we say, Bale on the left, Vitolo on the right, Barrow up front, so they've got some good players in forward positions. If we can nullify them and do what we have been doing in the past couple of games, then we should be able to get past the defence of Sampdoria. And there is an early chance. It's a good ball in from Pellegrini, but no one attacking that front post. And there is a chance for Sampdoria to build something from the back, and they go straight down this right-hand side and to Gareth Bale. It's a tackle from Donati. He's got his man in his pocket already, but it's a really poor ball out from Mancini, and there's a chance for Sampdoria to come at us again for Maru. Vitolo on the right. It's Jankto, well beaten to it by Zaniolo, as he was doing in the Champions League game. He surges towards the area. It's a poor effort straight to Duro, but Zaniolo showing what he can do with his pressing ability, and it's looking like he's looking solid in that role. Pellegrini, Mancini at the back post. Oh, it's just over. A really good header from Mancini, just over. We're looking like we're starting to get ourselves in this game though, and if we can grab this first goal, hopefully we'll be able to go on and score a few more. But Sampdoria building through the back, and it's Vitolo on the left. He's got Maru outside of him, and Ramos is going to have to get his skates on to keep up. He tried to tackle it, falls to Barrow. It's well wide and easy for Farinez to just watch past his post. We're going to ask for a little bit of passion. We've not potentially been as dominant with regards to shots as I would have liked us to be, so hopefully we can start looking better in that regard. We've seen a couple more from Sampdoria than perhaps we have from other teams in previous games, so we're really going to have to be on our game if we are to beat them. And another injury coming into the team. Leonardo Paredes now injured, and a potential knee injury, so he may be out for a little while. Diawara can come on for him and have his first 60 odd minutes or so of the season. But a really big loss that could be. Paredes has been solid for us in the midfield when he plays. And another injury to add to the ever-growing list. Upamecano is back from that list, however, luckily. And Florenzi and Bua are both due back soon. But Paredes in the midfield could be a big loss. And as we approach half-time, it's been a fairly even game with regards to creativity. And it is 0-0. We're going to get aggressive. We need to be much better than that in the second half if we're going to get anything from this game that would keep our impressive winning run going in the league. We're going to ask for some creativity to begin the half as well, and we have the ball but deep in our own half. George does beat his man to it though, but Zaniolo gives it straight away, and there was a chance for Sampdoria to build from the back through João Pedro. He finds Malu, who's been really good on this left hand side so far. He's being well pressed. Pedro finds Barrow, and again he heads just over, but he is proving to be a threat, and that all stemmed from a really poor touch in the middle of the park from Nicolo Zaniolo. And we need to really start getting some shots on the Sampdoria goal, and preferably one in the back of the net, because at the moment it's looking like this may well play out to be a stalemate. We're going to ask for a bit more passion, and as the hour mark approaches, we're going to make a couple of changes. Camavinga not having his best game in that role, so we'll get Tonali on for him. That's the one change we'll make for now. Of course, already making the Diawara change early on, so we're going to want to keep one up our sleeve. Hopefully Tonali can have a better game than he has been having for us this year. And as there is just over 20 minutes to go, we really need to find the winning goal in this game. And where it's going to come from, I'm not sure, because we haven't quite looked like we're at the races today. And this could be our first drop points of the Serie A season. We're going to go very attacking for 15 or so minutes, just to see if that can freshen things up and give us that chance that we're looking for. And we're also going to make one final change. Pellegrini struggling for a little bit of fitness. We'll get Almada on for him and switch Zaniolo and Almada over just to see if we can grab something from this game. And a game where we've had a few more shots than them, but as has been the case in the past few games, we've not dominated the possession as we would have liked to. And some creativity to finish. And could this be the chance? Almada slots it to Donati, who's put a really nice ball across, but unfortunately can't find the hedge of George. But Almada, on from the subs bench, he scored, has he? I think it might be offside. I think we're going to see the goal snatched away from us. Riccardi with a great ball. Almada is acres offside. It's a really annoying one to be given against us. But he is indeed offside. And what looked like it was going to be the winning goal has been snatched away from us. And with 3 minutes of added time, it looks like our good run in silly hour of wind is going to come to an end with a really frustrating 0-0 draw against Sampdoria. A game we should have really been winning. We're going to get aggressive. It certainly wasn't good enough. And we go into the rest of the Serie A now only 2 points ahead of AC Milan. But we still have an unbeaten start to the season. But again, we really should have been winning. Sampdoria are all the way down in 14th. They've lost 4 times. Their goal difference is awful. They've got a really leaky defence. But we couldn't quite break it down. Looking ahead then to the next episode, we'll be back for the second leg, or the second group game rather, against FC Bayern in the Champions League, and we'll combine that with our game against Juventus. But I do hope you have enjoyed today's episode, and if you have, please leave a like down below for me. If you're new to the channel or not yet subscribed, as I said earlier, please do hit that subscribe button. It'd be awesome to get to 100 subscribers by the beginning of August. And thank you all for coming along and watching.